Hello and welcome to Character Unlock episode 68. I'm back, and you no longer have to listen to the dulcet tones of Lee for until we get him back to do more stuff in the future. So, yeah, basically I'm John, if you didn't already know, and your first episode was the Lee episode, and sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not as good as he is. And with me is the man, the myth, the legend that is Brooker. How are you, mate?
I am good, mate. I am good. I am tired, as I always am. I'm ready for my bed.
When are you not fucking tired and ready for bed?
I don't know. I'm basically a 90-year-old man. I wake up ready to go back to bed.
No, that's an angsty teenager. A 90-year-old man doesn't wake up.
True. I am good though, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, it's all good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I actually quite enjoyed my... I'd say enjoyed my time away because I have actually been away.
Yeah.
So it was quite nice actually having a break. It's a shame It's a shame that over the last couple of weeks that it literally happened to fall around to make me stupidly busy to prevent me from being able to actually record the last episode.
Yeah.
So a bit better timing probably would have meant that I wouldn't have missed out, but here we are.
Shit happens though, isn't it? I think we get busy, things happen. At some point in the next couple of months, we're going to have to forward plan the fact that I'm not around for a week for one of our episodes.
That's true.
Which is going to be interesting.
It's like we've got so many other things coming along in the near future that is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entirely Avengers' fault.
Yes, I blame Avengers as well.
Because we definitely wouldn't have had a problem if it wasn't for the fact that we both went to see the 8 p.m. double bill on the day we normally record. And then I was in London on the day that you guys actually recorded. And in France, the only other day that we would have normally recorded.
Yeah. And then it got busy for me as well. So it was a manic, 5 or 6 days. So no, it was fine. You know what, mate? It was awesome recording with Lee as well. Lee's an awesome dude to just shoot the shit with.
Yeah. Well, we've played enough games with him, especially playing The Division.
Yeah.
Have you even finished that yet?
I have, yeah. You
Awesome.
didn't even listen to the last episode. Fuck you, dude.
No. Why would I have listened to the last episode?
Because you weren't on it.
So? I don't listen to any of the episodes. I used to, but then I got bored.
Wow.
I don't listen to any podcasts. I'll throw that out there. I don't mind being on one. I don't mind guesting on other ones, which I have done before. I don't listen to them. I don't have enough time to listen to podcasts, I guess. I don't go running like you do and go listening to podcasts while I run or while I'm at work staring at server farms.
I tend to not do it while I'm at work anymore. I'm too fucking busy. And I've got too many other people to bloody talk to. It's a pain in the ass. But yeah, the running thing helps a lot. I get through a few podcasts when I'm running, But yeah, I finished The Division.
You finished The Division. That's nice.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
When me and Lee left it, I had one mission left to go, and I had to go. I spent 2 days grinding my level up as well, so I was high enough to do it. It's a fucking nightmare. But yeah, that last mission was a bitch, but it was, I done it.
I knew we were right at the end. I knew there wasn't, from when we left it, I knew that was right at the end. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that it was literally one more mission or 2 missions or something. I can't remember why we just stopped.
Because it was getting late, and 2 of the 3 of us have kids, and all 3 of us have jobs.
True, it was quite late. But yeah, the last mission for it is a bit of a dick, but then there's also that extra bit afterwards where it's just like a fucking cutscene.
Yeah, well, that was it. So you had the long ass mission. And then the one little cutscene that explains nothing. Yeah.
It explains and gives you a cliffhanger to The Division 2, which, from what I know, isn't actually in The Division 2.
Yeah.
At all. They just left it and gone, you know what, let's just make a new game.
Oh, yes. Well, they did, didn't they? Because the second one's fucking miles away.
Yeah. Well, that's always the fun... The one thing that I found quite amusing is that it's New York City in Division 1.
Yeah.
Everyone fucking knows New York City. It's been in so many fucking video games that you know your way around New York City
Yeah.
like the back of your own hand. You probably know your way around New York City more than you know your way around your own city.
Yeah.
You've played it in that many video games.
Oh, yes. But yeah.
So getting around New York is really fucking easy. If someone says, "Oh, you need to go to here," you just kind of go, "Actually, I think I know exactly where that is," even if you've never been there in real life. But the second one being in DC, people just say, "Yeah, you need to go to the White House." All right, where's that? Is it over this way?
Point me in a direction, God damn it.
It's like this is no one has ever said, "Oh yeah, I know everything in Washington DC."
No.
Nobody fucking knows where anything is in DC. The people who live in DC don't know their way around DC.
No, they don't. Which is why I'm going to be properly lost when I finally get to Division 2.
Yeah, but as with the Division 1, hit me up as and when you go to play it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I've got it sat over there. I'm too busy. I've got too many other games to play.
I've got it installed. I haven't touched it yet, so I'll actually be squishy like you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good. Looking forward to actually playing games with you again.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I really enjoyed it.
Well, you sound surprised every time we've played together.
No, I don't. I'm not surprised. It always takes us so fucking long to get a game together, and especially the three of us as well. That's even rarer.
Yeah. Well, I'm always around, apart from when I'm not around.
Well, it's how reliable you are. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll be around a lot more in the coming weeks because it's the end of the football season. So, the only reason to why I'm not often around will be when Spurs are playing matches at home. This is the main reason to why I'm away.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I rarely get time to fucking play online anyway. So the last couple of weeks when I was playing with you and Lee, it was awesome because actually had time, which was nice.
Yeah. Well, it was nice when you just like text us randomly saying, "Yeah, I want to play this game." It's like, okay, cool, I'll download it tonight when I get home.
But this is the thing, though, isn't it? Because you always say, like, just text me and let me know. I was like, well, I'm fucking installing it. I may as well text you.
Yeah. So I just need to get an idea of what games you've got so I can have them ready and downloaded, because until I get my stupidly fast giga-fast internet,
yeah,
it's still going to take a couple of hours.
Well, I see most of mine are still story games anyway. So like I say, I've got the Division 2, but I've rented it. I'm not buying it. It's just going to sit there for a bit. I've got a couple of other games. We'll talk about that a bit later on. And I'm just waiting for Rage 2 now, which is also a single-player game, which you won't buy because it's a Bethesda game. So.
Pretty much. I've got Far Cry that I still need to put into my consoles, but that's a problem for the future.
Yeah.
I must have another game, but I don't have a second game on my Boomerang list, so I'm kind of just sitting here.
Nice.
I thought I had a Days Gone, but I must have not because it's not arrived yet.
Don't bother.
Okay.
We'll
Is that
talk
bad?
about it later.
Fucking hell. So it's nice to be back, nice to be chatting with Brooker again, and let's move on to the news. And we're going to start with, I suppose it's nice that we were talking about the Division earlier because we're going to stick with a Ubisoft title and we're going to go straight into Ghost Recon.
Yeah,
because we're looking at, still a month away from E3? Yep-ish? But Ubisoft are ready to just throw out more games because no one cares about E3 this year?
Well, this is the Ubi way, isn't it? They announce stuff just before E3 and then they want us to act all surprised when it happens. And to be honest with you, mate, it's just another reason why I will not be booking time off work for E3 this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ubisoft, they're going to release... They've got the world premiere because... Fuck you, Microsoft, that's why.
Yeah.
For Ghost Recon, whatever they're going to call it.
Right, so they're teasing a Ghost Recon game that tomorrow is going to premiere, so Thursday as we record, so yesterday as the podcast comes out. But while we were talking, I found another page that says that found it had been leaked already.
Nice.
So it's actually going to be called Ghost Recon, apparently, according to this leak, it's going to be called Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And it is a direct sequel to Wildlands. It's going to have John Bernthal, the Punisher,
Yep.
as the main bad guy. Now, John Bernthal, I haven't played it yet, but John Bernthal is due to appear in DLC for Wildlands, I think this week
Nice.
or
Okay, so
next
yeah.
week.
So it's not so much a direct sequel to Wildlands, it's more of a sequel to the DLC that comes around for
well,
Wildlands.
it's a story
So
mission.
it's part of the complete Wildlands experience.
Yeah,
The
which
game
I
of
am
the year.
50% happy with, and honestly 50% not, because while I was playing Wildlands, I really enjoyed it, but it doesn't have the tactical feel of other Ghost Recon games. You can be tactical about it, but to be perfectly honest, most of the game is find bush to hide in, use drone, mark all enemies, and mark and execute enemies 4 at a time. Done. And it's literally that simple. And it is so fucking boring. But now I'm going to have to reinstall it and finish it, which is a real ball ache.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but it's Ghost Recon's kind of been the staple of the co-op shooter for the Tom Clancy stuff. You've gone from the older ones rather of being, oh yeah, it's on the couch co-op
Yeah.
first person shooter missions, and then it became online co-op missions
Yeah.
of of linear story. And then when the technology allowed it, that's why they went open world. And that's when I think I might have just switched off, because you can't have open world without going, oh, we need to add level systems and RPG elements. And
It's just a mess. Wildlands is a mess. It's an enormous map with not an awful lot going on, and you've got like a separate story. There's like 12 areas to this map, and there's a separate story thing in each area that all connect in to an overarching story about cartels and drug dealers and shit. And I don't know, but you know the meat of it is you're a Ghost Recon operative. You go in, you sneak around, you kill everybody, you leave. It doesn't feel right doing it in a open world game.
no,
It doesn't feel right. It feels no. I can't even think of the word. It feels wrong to be playing a tactical, what is essentially a sneak 'em up game. You can go in guns blazing, and you can do quite well guns blazing. I just prefer to sneak around. It's just the way I like to play. It doesn't feel right in an open world. I'll be honest, I know a lot of people didn't like it. I preferred Future Soldier. I thought Future Soldier was a fucking top-notch game. I really enjoyed it. And apart from a couple of frustrating bits where I was a dick and didn't follow the instructions properly and kept losing people, I really liked it. But it had the same kind of mechanics as things like Splinter Cell Blacklist, which I also fucking adored, and no one else seemed to.
yeah. So I'm just trying to think with the overall stuff, because I was not invested in the Ghost Recon Warfight. No, sorry, Ghost Recon Wildlands. I wasn't invested in Wildlands.
Okay.
I wasn't interested in playing it on my own. I wanted to play with my friends, but the friends that I play with didn't have the same, even remotely close to similar working pattern. One of
No.
them was just fresh out of uni, hadn't got a job. Another one works nights and therefore would be at home during most of the days.
Yeah.
And then the other one we were playing with is, let's say, independently wealthy.
Nice.
So meaning that he didn't need to work typically. So it was kind of just they could play together and then I would join, but because of the way that the leveling system works on Ghost Recon, meant that I could join in, great. I couldn't damage the enemies, and because I had such a low stealth mechanic that they put into it, it's like I could be half a mile away and the enemies knew where I was because my stealth was really low. So it's like I walk forward one step and then all of the enemies just start shooting at me because they know exactly where I am at all times.
Yeah.
That really pissed me off a little bit because it meant that I had to play usually on my own, because if they joined my game, it made the game infinitely harder for me, like with the Division for You.
Yeah.
meaning I couldn't level up, and I just wasn't invested in the story at all. After playing the first 30 minutes of the
Yeah.
game on my own for a bit, I just couldn't get invested into it. I didn't enjoy it at all.
No.
Typical Ubisoft, if you play the game on launch, it's shit. Wait half a year, and it's usually quite good.
Yeah. I'll be honest. It did improve. It did improve a lot. So I bought it on release. And
Didn't you buy it 3 times in the end?
I bought it twice. So I bought the gold edition. No. Did I buy the? No. I bought the standard edition. And played it for a bit. And I bought the season pass, I think, like a month later when it was discounted. Excuse me. And then I got fucking bored of the repetitiveness of it. So I had the physical copy of the game, so I sold it on. And then it must be a year ago now, they heavily discounted the
Super edition.
the main game on Xbox Live. So I think I picked it up for like 15 quid. So I had that. Already had the season pass, and I already had a character save and all that lot. So I already had any perks and all that. I think I'm about halfway through. I just could not get invested. It was drive to new area, wipe out everybody, get some intel, drive to next area, and it was Ubisoft Collectathon. Just get all the intel from that bit of map, kill all the guys, get all the upgrades, and then move on to the next bit. And I'm like, I just cannot be bothered. It was so dull. And I hate the fact that it's a franchise I really like, and I really want to see what they do with it. And if they're bringing John Bernthal in, I feel like I have to play it. Which means I'm going to feel like I have to finish Wildlands, which is going to bug me.
Yeah, I think my only concern, or I say concern, only issue I have is that we're getting a sequel to a game from 2017 this year probably, because Ubisoft do like to do, oh yeah, we've got a game, and here it is coming out winter.
I don't know, man. They announced Wildlands 2 years before it came out.
True, but it was probably running more on the same tech that they were running before.
Yeah.
So, but they've been teasing this next game, and people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be Watch Dogs 3" because we didn't have. It's been a little while since 2. But I want to see some different Tom Clancy games. I want another Splinter Cell, but we won't get another Splinter Cell because single player games are dead, obviously.
Yeah. Well. I don't know, mate. I would like another Splinter Cell.
I think
I'd take Watch Dogs 3 over another Ghost Recon right now, I have to admit.
Yeah, I think on my list, if we're just going to go with Tom Clancy games, I think at the top Splinter Cell. I would take Watch Dogs 3, even though I still haven't played 2. Probably should.
2 was fun, man. 2 was a lot of fun.
More I think back to it, I actually quite liked 1, even if it was exceptionally repetitive and the story became a bit nonsensical towards the end.
1, I think 1 became a playable game for me when I started again, dropped the difficulty right down to easy, and then just played the story. Literally did the Assassin's Creed thing that I do when I get pissed off of doing side missions. Just ignore everything. Story mission, story mission, story mission. When you do that, you can finish the game in 10 hours.
Yeah.
And it's much, much better.
I think I'd like to see another Rainbow Six game, but an actual Rainbow Six game instead of just Siege. But we won't get that.
No, I think Siege has changed the playing field a little bit, hasn't it?
See, Rainbow Six will probably never get an update outside of Siege, which is a shame. And it's probably they're not going to ship many more copies of Siege.
No.
Is the simple answer, because it's got its market. The people playing it won't play other things because that's how 80% of gamers are these days, is that people just play one game and that's it. That's the only game they play, and they become essentially professionals at it.
Yeah.
And there's no point releasing a Siege 2 because a lot of people won't bother picking it up because they'll think that it's less than what they've already got.
Yeah.
You can't There isn't an upgrade to Siege. It's already got its 4K texture pack for the X and the Pro.
Yep.
So we're looking at Siege 2 on next gen consoles.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you even got that.
Or you'll just get a Siege remaster again.
Everything will be backwards compatible. You won't even need a remaster; it will just work.
True. That's if Sony decide to do backwards compatible, because so far it's still unconfirmed.
They will. It will kill them if they don't.
This is where they decide to do another proprietary tech system again, like the PS3.
Yeah.
Because they've decided that once again they're not going to embrace the crossplay market.
No.
Yeah, please, Ubisoft, Splinter Cell, another one. Love of God.
See, we thought they were going to get another one when they put Sam Fisher into a free story mission in Wildlands, didn't we?
Yeah.
But no.
Speaking of disappointments from publishers, let's get it out of the way with Anthem. Because fucking hell.
Mate, I know you really wanted Anthem to be good. I saw this coming a fucking mile away, didn't I?
Yeah, when Anthem was dropped to unbelievably cheap before even launch, it's like you could get the super special, whatever the fuck edition it was, the Legion of Dawn edition, for below average game release price.
Yep.
There's definitely an issue. So it's like the Legion of Dawn edition was like £25 before launch. There's an issue.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest problem is that the demo or the beta that they put out for the couple of weekends that was available was not that much less than the overall game.
No.
And the fact that we've had no content whatsoever.
Well, let's talk about that for a sec. So EA and BioWare put out a roadmap for Anthem, didn't they?
Yep.
So story stuff and DLC and updates and patches and all that kind of shit. A bit like what IO do monthly for Hitman.
Yeah.
And before they even got to the first bit of content on their roadmap, they had announced that they've scrapped the roadmap because they're too busy trying to fix bugs.
Yep.
Where are we now? 4 months after the release of Anthem? 3-4 months?
Yeah, something like that. 3-4 months, yeah.
Yeah. Probably should have tried releasing a fully working game first.
Yeah.
So I'm trying desperately to be positive about all of the games, but you can't expect people to buy into your live service game if you release it in such a fucking state. Not when your game is basically I wanna be Destiny. When Destiny players already have Destiny, you need to come out swinging, not come out missing a foot and half an arm. It's just, no. It's a mess.
So they should have, the beta, when they put it out, probably should have put out a beta and then not said, oh yeah, the game's coming out in 2 weeks, because that's not enough time to fix the issues that were in the beta or demo, whatever you want to fucking call it these days.
Yeah.
There was too many issues in there to be fixed in time for launch, which is not exactly what a beta should be. A beta should have been, what? Oh, here's a load of issues. Okay, yeah, we'll fix them. Thanks for letting us know about it. The game's coming out at the end of the year, not in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because some of the issues that were in the beta have still not been fixed yet. Because I actually played Anthem like last week at some point over the weekend.
Yeah.
Just randomly. I don't even know why I played it. It was just one of my friends said, oh, do you want to play some Anthem? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? I fired it up, and it's improved a lot. So it takes a lot less time to get into the forge to change your suit.
Yeah.
And you can actually do it on the fly. But
nice.
you still can't but you can't do it while flying. You have to be stationary to access the forge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But there's still the big issue that is the weapon system, because the weapon system is still, you only have one, well, you have three guns to each weapon class that are worth using. It's not like you might accidentally find a purple one in rarity and it'd be better than the orange one you already have. It is literally, this is the purple version. All purple versions are essentially the same, minus a couple of like little upgrades, so like plus 8% damage versus plus 8% weapon ammo capacity or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's literally just purple is the third best version, orange is the second best, and yellow is the best version of the same gun. That's not really how rarity works.
No.
I mean, I get it, you want the better guns to be found less, but when your loot system evolves around, oh yeah, here is an unlimited supply of blues and purples, and then occasionally you might see an orange, and even less occasionally you'll see a yellow, and those are a chance to get something that you don't already have.
Yeah.
Kind of ruins the whole loot system a little bit.
Yeah.
You spend hours grinding to earn yourself a chance to get something that you might not already have, or a better version of something you might actually have.
Welcome
Not,
to live service looter shooters.
yeah. Well, at least Borderlands always had that loot shoot thing down because they just made it fucking loot crazy. It wasn't until you got to the very, very post-end game. It's like you've just finished a 30-plus hour story.
Yeah.
And then you've had to go through the 30-plus hour story again with side missions on a harder difficulty too, because you just unlocked the harder difficulty. And then there's raid bosses, plus they decide to add on an extra harder difficulty, and then all kinds of crap. And then it's just a looter shooter where you just go around and start killing specific enemies because you want specific weapons or shields or grenades, because that specific enemies drop specific things. Why doesn't everyone do that fucking system?
I do not know.
I think the Division actually kind of does that kind of system. I think there are specific, or at least in when I played it and remember back, was that there were specific enemies to kill in specific missions, which is why when we were doing some of those missions playing the Division, I was like, I remember this mission. Because I think I played it that many times, because I think this enemy dropped something that I wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah. EA turning around saying that Anthem underperformed our expectations.
Wow. Who didn't see that come in?
I don't understand why their expectations were so high.
No, me neither.
Or at least it's like, how high were their expectations if it underperformed, considering I don't think anyone really expected it to be... Okay, no one expected it to be as bad, especially some of the bugs, and especially the loading times for things that probably shouldn't have had a loading time.
No.
But surely if you're making a game, you kind of get at least a rough idea of how little content you have when you're making it.
Yeah, I think... So I reckon it's 50-50. I reckon half of it is BioWare going, we're not ready for this yet. And then EA going, yeah, but we'll release it and people will play it and you can fix it as you go. And actually BioWare then not saying, no, it's not ready for that. Because obviously BioWare, they have corporate overlords. They have to do as they're told.
I mean, EA probably are not a company you can turn around and say, yeah, we're not ready to release. They would have probably just said, well, you need to be working 24 hours until it is ready to release.
Exactly.
It's like, it's releasing on this date. We're not pushing it back. If we push it back, it falls under the window of, I don't know, Battlefield, which is still technically an incomplete game itself.
Yeah.
Still haven't had any new maps updates for Battlefield.
That doesn't surprise
It's been nearly half a year.
me. Yeah.
Actually, I think it has been half a year. It has been almost over half a year.
They'll come eventually. But they've just got Battle Royale mode out there, haven't they? So
Yeah, Battle Royale mode, and they've just been drip feeding guns.
yeah,
Eh,
fair enough.
yeah. It's, more. Let's, I okay. Let's just keep going negative because we kind of have to go negative before we can go positive again.
Yeah, go on then. Bring it on.
Uh, Gearbox, or more specifically, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford.
Randy
Uh,
Pitchford is such a cunt.
Despite having more ongoing lawsuits, a Twitter tirade
Yep.
for microtransactions, which I actually missed because I didn't watch the Borderlands 3 announcement.
I'm gonna have to try and find this thing because it was just brilliant.
So I decided that I didn't watch the announcement because it came out at a time when I wasn't available to watch it, and then just never got around to watching it after it had come out. But while you're looking on that one, I'm going to go with the Claptrap voice actor, David Eddings,
Yeah.
is not reprising his role of Claptrap in Borderlands 3. And there's pretty good reasoning for it. And that he's claiming, because it's innocent until proven guilty, he was physically assaulted by Randy Pitchford in a hotel. Actually, not just in a hotel lobby, where there's probably CCTV.
Wow. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And that's Jeremy Clarkson levels of pretty shitty.
It's one of those. Of course, you're not going to want to come back. You've just been attacked by essentially your boss. You're not going to want to work there anymore. It doesn't
No.
matter if you're just going to throw 2 times the salary at them, because that's what Randy Pitchford's claiming, is that he offered David Eddings was paid very handsomely during his employment and was made a relatively generous offer to reprise the role, which equated to about 2 times scale. Yeah. It's not. Randy Pitchford is not making friends.
No, he's not.
Actually,
Randy Pitchford never has though.
Technically, he's not even making enemies. He's just making people to not care about him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's he's an arsehole. And he has been an arsehole since I don't think I've ever heard his name uttered in a positive way. And I'm not saying that it's never happened. I'm just saying I haven't heard it. All the way as far back as shit like him and Jim Sterling, the whole alien colonial marines thing. He's just such a douchebag. And you have to be a douchebag to get to that kind of level of boss, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a fan. And punching his voiceover staff probably isn't okay.
It's kind of weird. I think video games are probably the only ish market where the CEO is such a public figure, apart from like massive companies, so Amazon, Facebook's.
The Harvey Keitels of this world.
Yeah. So literally, it's just, if you're a CEO, no one really knows who the CEO of almost any company in the world is.
Yeah.
Apart from the massive ones that do big keynote speeches.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious. I wonder if that's just because that's the world you and I choose to hang around in.
I guess, yeah, you probably wouldn't know that. If I just asked any random person who Randy Pitchford was, they wouldn't actually be able to give me the answer.
Exactly. If I lean round the corner and asked the other half to name the CEO of Activision, she wouldn't have a fucking clue.
I don't actually know who the CEO of Activision is.
Bobby Kotick.
No, I would never have said that he was Activision CEO. I don't know why. I thought the Activision CEO was a woman. I might be confusing them with Ubisoft.
I do not know. Isn't Ubisoft Eve Guillemot?
I thought he was just Montreal.
I don't know. But these are all names that you and I know.
Yeah, but
You know.
again, it's through.
But because we play video games and we
yeah,
read about
we play
video
video
games.
we care enough to
Yeah.
watch keynote speeches. But again,
I'm almost certain someone could look. Someone could spend time in, I don't know, tabletop gaming, and start throwing out names, famous tabletop gaming names, and I go, who, what? And that's not to say tabletop gaming, is any different. It's not a world I spend any time in, so I wouldn't fucking know.
yeah, but you could probably say the name Jeff Bezos just in public, and you'd probably get maybe 60% of the people would say, "Oh, the guy who is getting a divorce and is losing half his Amazon money."
He's the Amazon guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a divorce and losing half of his Amazon money.
That's fine. Half of Amazon money is still better than every other person in the world.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's actually becoming that his wife is going to be one of the second is the highest valued woman in the world just by
Wow.
taking half of his money.
Not a bad living there.
No, but it kind of just like puts a damper on all self-made women in the business world because they've just reached a point where they could have made more money just by getting a divorce from a richer bloke.
Yeah, I think I kind of half agree with that. I think the other half, you got to think, depends on what she does with the money, for one.
True.
If you never hear from her again, she's just living the life of luxury. No woman that's worked her ass off is going to give two shits because it's not like this woman's playing up for publicity.
No.
Or maybe she does something good with it.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, she could easily take half of the money she's going to earn off of Jeff Bezos and just give it to charity or multiple charities because she's still got half of the most money in the world.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't think I'm qualified to talk about.
No. I don't have enough money to be able to donate half of it to charity.
No.
Wish I did.
Oh,
but...
yeah. To be honest, I donate almost all of it to charity. And just
True.
I only need a couple of million.
That's more money than anyone really needs to do. Really needs at any given moment. Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry. I was reading some of the tweets from Eddings about his retorts back to Randy Pitchford, and it's quite funny. Of the his. I'll leave it on this statement of I'm not telling them how to run a business, but maybe next time they should put the 12 million payment from 2K in the Gearbox bank instead of his own.
Fair enough.
Yep. Yeah, maybe pay your staff instead of yourself. Considering I think Gearbox employees and large portions of 2K are paid slightly less than the market average.
Yeah.
And they use the money that they would be paid normally to put into shares essentially, or to earn out dividends across the board based on how well the company performs. And then he just gave himself all of it instead.
Nice.
Like all of the staff managed to put together $12 million over the course of like a year, and he just went, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's mine," and then not sharing it out to all of the staff.
Wow. What did I say? Randy Pitchford is a cunt.
If you think about it, one person getting 12 million is a fair amount, but Gearbox probably have a lot of staff, and that 12 million probably wouldn't have been that much, and that's why he did it for himself.
Yeah.
Because he saw it. He thought, well, if we share it out, people aren't going to get that much, so I'll just take the 12 million to make them feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yep. So we've covered the most part of the shit, because I'm taking a look at what we've got as far as rest of news stories goes. There is a slight down curve after the next one, but it's more funny than shit. So
Go on then.
I'll allow it. So next coming up, before that one, is that EA Access is finally going onto PlayStation.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think it's July it's coming around.
Yeah, 4th of July.
Yeah. But I quite like it, especially because it was pitched to PlayStation first, if rumors are to be true.
Yeah.
EA went to PlayStation before they went to Microsoft to offer them the EA Access 10-hour trial plus free games to play, EA games to play on their consoles,
Yeah.
just for the low price of £20 a year.
Yep.
And PlayStation turned around and said, why would they do that? They've already got PlayStation Now.
Well, that's clearly it's not working out for them.
So they went to Microsoft, and Microsoft said, ooh, games as a service? I like that sound.
Yeah.
We're going to copy that in a couple of years' time with our own system, and it's going to be amazing.
Yep.
And lo and behold, all of now, later, you can get the sad Microsoft Xbox One.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, I honestly, I think it's great. I don't use EA Access that much, but for 20 quid a year, I'm quite happy to pay to have it there in case I want it.
Yeah, I mean, EA Access, you don't need to have it on more than one console.
No.
If you've got an Xbox, you've got it on Xbox. You don't need to have it on PlayStation. But if your sole purpose of having an Xbox is for EA Access, I don't think anyone has ever thought of it that way. But if you're a mainstay PlayStation gamer and you have EA Access because you might want to play one of the EA titles almost a year after it's released, and you don't already own it on PlayStation, you just want to give it a go. So, like Battlefront, when that eventually went free, and you want to play through the story, or there was the Mirror's Edge games, Need for Speed games as and when they come out. It's nice to have a go, or for even FIFA or any of the EA Sports titles, the annual releases. You've got your 10 hours early access on Xbox, and then you can make your decision there and then and go, you know what, FIFA's a shit one this year. I'm not going to bother buying it.
Yeah.
Boy, do I wish.
That's the thing. It's a really good. It's the 10 hours thing. I think is great because 10 hours will give you a good chunk of game to choose whether or not you're going to pick one up. But actually, for me, because I don't buy games brand new usually, I'm quite happy to wait a few months for them to be free on EA Access, and then I'll play them.
Yep.
For me, it's a perfect service. That and Game Pass. That Game Pass and my rental service is pretty much all I need.
Yeah. So I think with EA Access, it was the only way to get the Mass Effect trilogy for a little while on Xbox One.
Yep.
When that went backwards compatible, the only way to get it was through EA Access. So you had to pay the £20 to have played the 3 Mass Effect games, which I did. Well, obviously I already had EA Access, but yeah, getting those backwards compatible Mass Effect was amazing for me.
I installed the Mass Effect games, and that was it.
Yeah, well, you've got them installed, it's enough.
Well, no, 3 months later I uninstalled them because I was running out of room.
Yep.
And I hadn't played them.
But it's the 10-hour trial is perfect because it's just long enough for you to make an educated decision on whether or not you want to buy a game. Because what's the Microsoft limit? Is it 2 hours?
Something like that, yeah.
It's like 2 hours, and then you can get if anything more, and you can't get a refund anymore.
No.
I get it. If you don't like a game within 2 hours, then yeah, you probably should be able to get a refund because no one should play a game for less than 2 hours and be like, oh, this is shit.
Yeah.
If a game is that bad that you can get a refund, that you know exactly how shit it is in 2 hours,
yeah,
power to you. There are plenty of games that I've played in the past where I've played less than 2 hours. Luckily, all of them have been rentals and not purchases.
Yeah, see, this is kind of why I go for the rentals anyway, because there's too many games and I have too little time, and I have to kind of go. I have to be ruthless and go, I'm not finishing this, and we'll talk about that a bit later on as well. But you have to kind of go, this ain't me, this ain't for me, I'm done, and you have to be able to do that quite quick.
It's true, but if we end up with EA Access on PlayStation 4, and then going forward to next generation, so 2022, whatever the fuck we're going to get with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Next
Yeah.
box. I don't know. You can't even come up with a title for the next Xbox, seeing as they've been all over the fucking
It's
place.
going to be amazing. It's going to be something completely left field. Like we're on the third Xbox and it was called the One. Okay, what we're going to get now? And there's no way you can predict it, I reckon.
I still find it amusing how occasionally people still say the Xbox One, meaning the original.
I still do because that's what you do. We say PS1. The
Yeah.
PS1 was never called the PS1.
No. At best, it was the PSX.
Exactly. And it was only PSX because you had to fit 3 letters in your product code for indexes and shit.
Yep.
You know, you had XBX for Xbox, 360 for the Xbox 360, but PSX because what else are you gonna do?
It was only later the PS1 when the PS2 became a thing and they released that PlayStation 1 classic
Yeah,
tiny little thing that they had. That was cute.
yeah,
But again, if it's the next generation of consoles ends up having more EA access, and I'd like it to be a possibility that it's going to happen for a one size fits all Origin access, and you just pay buy two get one free. So I'd pay £40 for to have EA access across all three PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
yeah. I don't use PC enough to worry about it, but I can see why some people would like it.
Well, I don't use my PC enough. Well, okay, my PC's main game that it plays on is Football Manager, but
Yeah,
if I could have,
this is
um,
when I know you're not at home. You see, is when I turn on the Xbox and I can see you're playing Football Manager.
yeah, so it'd be nice to have the ability to play some EA games on PC. So, or if Play Anywhere becomes more of a thing and cross-platform and cross-play and other stuff comes around, like I think Borderlands 3, they want to introduce cross-play
Yeah,
for it, which would be nice because it's coming out on a couple of different systems. But if they could do cross-save
yeah,
as well as cross-play, then that'd be even better because it's not like the architecture is that different on the consoles
no,
or to PC. It's the it's a 2K thing that they could just save it on the 2K servers and be like, yeah, it's the same. Doesn't
yeah,
matter what console you're on. I could just play Borderlands on PlayStation if I'm at someone's. If I'm on a PlayStation, just sign in with my account and be like, yeah, this is my 2K account. This is my Borderlands game. I'll play Borderlands and show them where I am, as opposed to not. I'd fuck it. I'd get it on PC after it's away from the Epic Games Store.
not a fan of the Epic Games Store.
I'm not downloading the Epic Games Store. I've got Steam and I've got Uplay, and I only have Uplay because reasons.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
don't even remember why I've got Uplay. I think there was a good reason for me getting Uplay, and I think it had something to do with the Crew 2.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, didn't you get a copy
Yes,
of the Crew 2 with the graphics card?
yes, I did get a
Or
copy of the
something?
Crew 2 with the graphics card.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's because of the graphics card that's in my PC, in my laptop.
Yeah,
It was the Crew 2 came with that graphics card because it was in my laptop. Yeah, it's
nice.
weird.
But
So
yeah,
yeah,
uh, EA Access on PS4, I think it's great, and I think anybody that's only got a PS4 should absolutely do it. It's such a great idea, and yeah, I keep randomly downloading games and playing them for an hour and deleting them because that's all I want to do. I shouldn't do that really. I should play actual games.
nah, we don't need to play actual games.
No.
Crazy talk. Uh, and let's move away from games briefly on a minor segue. Brooker, let's go over a couple of movies, starting with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my god, mate! What the fuck is going on with Sonic the Hedgehog? Firstly, who the fuck thought we needed a Sonic the Hedgehog movie? Because we really don't. Secondly, who okayed that fucking disastrous, nightmarish character model? Because that thing is going to keep me awake. I may, in fact, never sleep again. It looks terrifying. It's so bad, in fact, and the backlash for this Sonic thing. So I'm not sure. Have you watched the trailer for Sonic?
I did watch the trailer, yeah.
What do you think about Sonic?
I think it looks fucking terrible, and it's definitely got problems. I think that the product placement of using Nike trainers on it for some stupid reason, human-sized Nike trainers at that, considering what the Sonic character's supposed to look like, it looks fucking weird.
But Sonic has, like, it's got weird hands. It looks like a hairy version of the hands from Insidious: The Last Key. It's really fucking horrendous, and he's got strange eyes, and it's horrible.
Yeah,
and he's got teeth. He's got teeth. What the fuck?
It's this stupid hyper realistic furry bullshit that Detective Pikachu's gotten away with, but it looks really fucking weird on some of the other Pokemon that they're using it on, and I really hope you fucking hate that film when you go watch it with your little one.
What, Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible. I'm already not looking forward to it. I'm all booked in for Saturday, and I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But I made the stupid decision and gave Nikita the choice of what film she wanted to watch, because she said she wanted to watch Detective Pikachu, but she also said she wanted to watch Endgame again. I was like, shit, yeah, son. I'll watch Endgame again. Be my fourth time. I'm okay with that.
And now you're going to watch Detective Pikachu
now
instead.
I'm going to watch Detective Pikachu, which I'm not happy with.
No. And you shouldn't be.
No, I'm not.
You are not the target audience for that film.
I am not the target audience for that film, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to leave that film alone when it comes on. I won't. I'm in a cinema and I will be quiet, but yeah, we're going to talk about Detective Pikachu on the next episode, I think.
Cool. But yeah, the Sonic movie trailer. But okay, let's move away from what we think about it and onto the fact of what the fuck has happened to make it so that Paramount put out the original design that people saw and hated, and then continue to move with that to show off this trailer to get more hatred for it. That they've gone, okay, yeah, we'll crunch our studio a bit to change the design.
Yeah.
This is not good news.
So the crunch thing, I'm not an expert by any means, but I do know a couple of animators, and a couple of people who are very good at stuff like that. So the crunch thing that's gone around, and I do kind of understand where people are coming from. Obviously, over the last few months, there's been a lot of stories about game devs and crunch and working stupid, suicidal hours and all that kind of shit. The thing with Sonic is, for the most part, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. It should be a model change, because it's a skin that overlays like a 3D model or 3D skeleton, if you like.
Yeah.
So long as that skeleton doesn't change, everything else should be okay. For the most part, it should just be literally like a file change. It shouldn't. Obviously, there will be work, because obviously, if they've changed his hands and he's holding something, it will need to be fixed. But it's not going to be a frame by frame for 120 minutes worth of film need to be changed. I don't think it will be as bad as a lot of people are making out. As much as I am all for people getting outraged at horrendous fucking working conditions, I do think this was just Twitter wanting to get angry with people.
Yeah.
I do understand it.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit that it's happening, but at the same time, it shouldn't need to happen.
It shouldn't.
They should have done it right in the first place, or they should have at least made it seem better. They had a source material to aim for, and they just didn't bother.
I think. Do you ever watch any Jim Sterling stuff?
No, don't.
I quite like Jim Sterling. He's a brash, mouthy dickhead.
I've got nothing against Jim Sterling. I just don't watch any stuff at all.
But he said, I think he hit it on the head when you went, Sonic, when you look at it, it's just a film built by committee of people that don't play games, don't know the characters, and are just looking at what they can sell to the most people. Right? And then obviously you've had this backlash, and they've realised, actually, we can sell more if we fix it. So then they fixed it.
True.
It's corporate cynicism at its best, or worst.
Yeah, it does. He is exceptionally right. It is. We can sell this. Let's make it, and then find out that if they fix it, they could sell it more because people will be more interested to see what it is that they've done to fix it than they ever were. They've managed to get the best publicity possible by having complete outrage.
Yep.
And said, okay, yeah, we've listened.
Yeah.
They probably knew, because they saw the outrage in the first place, and they pressed on with the design they already had.
Oh, yeah, of course they did.
To get more publicity. It's essentially been entirely... They've pushed out a trailer, and then didn't actually need to pay any money to get the amount of publicity they've managed to get to it. They've literally got the more publicity than anything ever before, apart from a coffee cup in an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason other than the fact that they did something wrong in the first place.
Yep.
And by fixing it, in air quotes, they've essentially doubled the amount of money they probably were going to make in the first place.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I, for one, will not be watching Sonic the Hedgehog. Not at all.
Not even when it eventually goes on to, I don't know, will Paramount have their own video streaming service by then?
I don't know. At best, Sonic the Hedgehog at best will be on the Paramount channel. Which is about as good as I would go for. And it's if it goes onto the Paramount channel and I see it there, I'll go, okay. I will record it and then maybe delete it one day without watching it.
At some point it'll be on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of things that'll probably end up being on Hulu, the Saints Row movie.
Mate.
I've known nothing of this. You caught me blindsided with this one. What the fuck?
There is going to be a Saints Row movie. So there is currently a Saints Row movie in development. So the thing, obviously, anybody that's played Saints Row knows it's fucking balmy. It's completely bananas, and it's going to be completely bananas. And they can pretty much all they got to do is just make a stupid action film
with a 6-foot floppy dildo.
With a 6-foot floppy dildo. So here's the thing. So if you read any press release for it, and I've read a couple, so they will tell you that it's set to be adapted to a movie by director F. Gary Gray. Now, F. Gary Gray has made a lot of films, but his recent films have been quite big. So all the press releases say from the director of Straight Outta Compton, Fast and Furious 8, and he's just finished making Men in Black International.
Yeah.
Right? So I think when you look at those, he can make drama, which is great. He can make amazing action, because Fast and Furious 8 was fucking amazing. And the action in it was superb. But what I want out of my Saints Row movie is I want to be crying with laughter. And this, I think, is where a lot of websites are forgetting one of F. Gary Gray's best films. I will assume you've heard of it, but probably not watched it. A 1995 comedy called Friday.
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, mate.
I was 5 back then.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
It
really does.
It's timeless. The comedy in Friday is timeless. It is, mate. It is so good. It is so funny. It's so stupid. People have been. It's one of those things. It's one of those comedies that, or one of those films that have found its way into like general pop culture, and people quote it all the time. Maybe not so much nowadays, but people would quote it all the time and not know where it came from. It's the film that invented Chris Tucker yelling, "You got knocked the fuck out." Mate, it is such a great comedy. It is laugh out loud funny. You have to watch Friday. But Saints Row is being made by the guy that made that, and mate, that makes me very excited. Because
I'm excited for it just because the guy is making the Men in Black international film, which I'm a big fan of the Men in Black movies.
As am I. I'm very much looking forward to it. Less so because there's no Tommy Lee Jones or Will Smith or so.
Pretty sure the only recurring character is O from 3.
So I'm dubious, but both Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are very funny, so I'm quite looking forward to it. But yeah, the dude has made some fucking great films. Well, like he made The Negotiator. I don't suppose you've seen that.
Negotiator.
Samuel Jackson and Kevin Spacey.
I might have seen it. It rings a bell.
It's like 97 or 98 or something. It's quite old.
Yeah.
A Man Apart, which was a cartel movie with Vin Diesel. He done the remake of The Italian Job, so I think the less said about that, the better.
You've just ruined an entire man's career.
But he made Law Abiding Citizen. Everybody loves Law Abiding Citizen.
Yep.
Yeah, see? I'm super excited for a Saints Row movie made by F. Gary Gray.
It does sound fucking awesome.
He's a great director, and he does comedy really well. I cannot wait. It's going to be fucking great. Probably the first time I've been really excited for a video game movie, and I don't think you can fuck it up. All you got to do is have a good, 2 hours of good jokes and stupid action. It can be anything you want. I can't wait.
It does sound fucking awesome, and I am strangely excited for the fact that, it's a film that I had no idea was coming, and I am now instantly more excited for that than any other film left this year, except maybe Spider-Man.
It will be a few years away. If it's in development now, what we in 2019, I would bet 2021 at best.
Look, it could come out this year, and it could be what was it was an exclusive, the Watchtower. What was that exclusive to?
Crackle.
It could be a fucking Crackle movie. It'd still be amazing.
Yeah,
Watchtower.
Hey, I like the Dead Rising movie. The first one, anyway.
I still haven't seen the...
Yeah, don't bother with the second one. It's crap. The
Cool.
first one was fun. And it had the Soska sisters in it. I'm a sucker for the Soska twins.
Yeah, you are.
Well, yeah. I'm a horror nerd. And they're twins that make horror movies. And they're pretty fucking badass.
So, final bit of news, and we will end on a very nice, all-inclusive note. Because we have discovered. I noticed and remembered seeing it on Reddit earlier today. Obviously, because it must have come from yesterday, because I get all of the fucking Reddit news a day late because, well, Americans, and that's how things work. So it takes until the following day for it to become news over here from it. But that's Microsoft have patented a haptic braille accessory for Xbox controllers. So we're looking at visually impaired and blind players able to play games. So this is to add on to the whole fact that they've released that adaptive controller, which is probably one of the most sought after accessories for, well, anyone who has a differently abled friend, child, after school club, hospital.
Yeah,
Microsoft are going out of their way to help and supply video games to everyone, and that's something we can all get behind. It's
shit.
that
Yeah,
there was what was the company special effect
yeah,
to started it with making proprietary tech to
well, yeah.
try
They
and
used to heavily modify
yeah,
controllers like on a per user basis,
yeah,
which
and
I
it was fucking awesome
yeah,
and a really great cause to get behind because everyone deserves a right to play games.
yeah,
Everyone is in a position where something could be fun for somebody, and there are so many ways of making people feel the joy that you can get from playing a fucking game.
yeah,
The more bigger companies that get behind it. So Microsoft with their adaptive controller are now working on a braille accessory, or rather a haptic braille accessory, really just shows that these big billion-dollar companies actually care about their customers,
yeah.
and they actually care about the friends and family of their current customers enough that they want more people to be after it.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Obviously, there's a cynical reason for it, but I'm not gonna. You can't bash on a company for wanting to make money, but you certainly can't bash a company like Microsoft who want to do it in somehow the nicest way possible. Yeah, I think it's an amazing achievement, an amazing invention. I think it's great.
Yeah, it it's okay. Yeah, the cynical side of it is that they're making money because they are.
Yeah,
It's like there's no way that they could possibly get away with making. Well, okay, they probably could get away with making massive loss because, in theory, this probably will make a massive loss because they probably won't get the uptake of that many people buying it for the amount of money it costs to make it.
no, but for every person that buys one, they will then buy all the games.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's obviously where they make their money. They buy extra hardware and all that kind of shit. And uh, and like I say, I'm not going to deny them that at all. I think it's amazing. I don't personally know anybody that would use one,
no, I don't know anyone who's got any kind of visual impairment.
but that's not to say there aren't people that won't.
Won't have it. Yeah,
That
it's people will end up buying this. There are people out there who will be thinking about this, saying, "Okay, yeah, it would be nice to be able to actually get away with playing something because it's that there must be a desire somewhere for them to put it out there. They made their adaptive controller,
yeah,
and that advert of the young lad playing in front of all of his friends really hit the spot with a lot of people online. They thought it was a fucking phenomenal advert.
yeah,
And backpacking off of that to make some more stuff to include more people, it's fantastic. Power to
absolutely.
them. And the more publicity that Microsoft get for it, the more likely we are to see other companies picking it up.
Yeah,
Because Sony can't look at this now and say that, okay, Microsoft have now released their second inclusive adaptive controller or attachment for people. Maybe
yeah,
we should consider doing something ourselves.
yeah. I would wonder how far another company would take it. So the thing with Microsoft is obviously these things work on the Xbox, but they
Yeah,
also work on PC.
yeah.
Uh, Sony will be making proprietary kit just for their machines, and I don't know if they would be able to justify it.
Well, that's the thing, is they could probably make it to work on PC as well, because PlayStation controllers do work on PC.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would also question how much Sony uh, support anything they make that isn't actually a console.
Well, let's be fair, Sony don't exactly support anything
No,
that's not the full-on PlayStation console.
no,
VR's not really getting supported. Their handhelds don't really get any kind of support on them. The
no,
Move stuff didn't really get any kind of support on them.
nope. Although I will defend their stance with VR. It doesn't, it looks like PS5 is going to have VR as well, so it looks like they're in that one for the long haul.
Yeah, but the PlayStation Vita was going to have PS4 support better than it did the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, true. You're not wrong. I'm kind of sitting in hope, to be honest, because I would really like to get another PSVR once the PS5 comes out.
Yeah, the PlayStation 4's main issue is that even with the Pro, you still had the issue of the fact that a VR is way more powerful requirements than any console can put out.
Yeah.
So the extra graphics card that was needed. Hell, most VR capable laptops require an external graphics card.
Yeah.
Like big old piece of plastic.
Yeah.
And massive heat sinks on it, just so that it will actually fucking run a VR headset.
Yeah.
So, but okay, yeah, VR's probably not a very good market going forwards. I think Microsoft have the right idea with HoloLens, as and when it becomes an actual thing.
It's never happening. Never. I'm putting money on it now, mate. It's never going to happen. HoloLens is great. It's a really cool bit of kit, but they've just released HoloLens 2, and it's $3,500.
As a corporate tool, HoloLens could be fantastic, or not just corporate, but we're talking potential application in military.
Yeah.
Just in general wear and tear use for people. The same with Google Glass. We're not there yet.
No.
It's naive for people to look at it and think, okay, yeah, I'm going to get myself an augmented or mixed reality set of glasses that I can actually wear and walk around, and things will actually ping up in front of my face.
Yeah.
We're not in the dystopian future that people seem to think that we are yet.
No.
We need to go through the stage of still wearing massive batteries in a backpack in order to power something this powerful.
Yeah.
5G phone networks are the start. We've got the technology currently being progressed along nicely, but it's not going to be the speed of which mobile phones were, because we're talking from like the 1960s, 1970s of having a battery pack and an actual phone with a big old aerial you had to extend.
Yep.
It's like walking around with a fucking suitcase or a briefcase and a telephone with an aerial, to the tiniest phone in the world. Eventually, people discovered that the internet and porn exists on phones, and now screens are getting bigger than ever.
Yep.
We will get to a point where it's a thing.
Yeah.
Probably won't be for a good couple of decades.
No, HoloLens, the tech in HoloLens is too expensive, which is why it's $3,500 to buy a headset, which is why they're selling it for things like construction. I've seen Minecraft on it, like actually physically seen Minecraft on a HoloLens, but I wouldn't spend $3,500 to play it.
No. Well, I wouldn't spend the £16 to play Minecraft.
No. But I wouldn't spend $3,500 to play any game.
No.
There's no need for it. And
yeah, $3,500 is buying a console and most of the games you will play on that console for its lifespan.
Mate, $3,500 buys me a massive fucking television and one of each of the current consoles. I don't need a HoloLens.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever being affordable to use as a games machine. But, I'm willing to be proven wrong. What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about visually impaired people.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can't use HoloLens either.
Technically, no, they can't. Yeah, that was a weird way to talk about to move on to HoloLens. It's coming people that can't use it, really. Yeah. So that was our hilariously news-heavy section.
Jesus, yeah, we're going for an hour, man. An hour and 15 minutes.
So we're going to move from that on to a brief-ish for lack of a better term, what we've been playing. I'll let you start, Brooks.
So I've only been playing one game. Well, no, I've been playing a few. I'm only going to talk about one game because only one game has been finished as far as it will ever be finished.
Cool.
I played Days Gone.
That bad, huh?
No, it's not bad. And I think that's what's the most frustrating thing about it. For those that don't know, so Days Gone is basically it's less bleak The Last of Us.
Less bleak, The Last of Us.
So you're a biker stuck in a semi-apocalyptic world where something has happened, a virus has taken hold, and now hordes of zombies that are not called zombies.
So not zombies.
Well, they're called freakers, but
Okay.
they are for sure zombies. And they kind of roam the world, and you have to, you just live in this world, and you have to go do stuff. You have to do missions for people. You have to clear out areas. You're looking for your wife, who may or may not be alive because you got separated at the beginning of the game. The problem is, I played this game for about 8 hours. Yeah, there's the dog on cue, as always. I played this game for about 8 hours. I was bored quite badly. And it was just the repetitive nature of everything. It's like we were saying about like Ghost Recon, and like I've said a million times about Assassin's Creed. Like when you've got to do story missions side missions, to kind of progress everything on. Those side missions need to be good.
Yeah.
And they need to be not the same thing over and over and over again. So basically, I travel from A to B across this enormous map, and every time I go through an area, it will say you need to clear out this area of nests. So nests are just a big pile of rubbish that these zombies live in. If you go in during the day, they're all in the nest. If you go during the night, the nest is empty, you can burn it, but you're going to have to fight through a few zombies to get there. Either way, you've got to throw a Molotov at this thing and watch it burn, and then kill any zombies around and then move on.
Cool.
But you need to do that like 3 or 4, between 3 and 5 times, depending on the area you're in. And it's just so repetitive. Sneak to an area, sneak around and kill the zombies with what is a pretty shitty and really dated stealth mechanic.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with the stealth at all. It's the noisiest stealth I've ever played. You get like a sound meter next to your map, and it shows you how loud you're being. And the thing is, I just walk around, and as long as I'm crouched, I'm still making noise, and the sound meter's still going, but no one hears me coming up behind them. So I just stealth every one of these fucking zombies. And it's I'll be honest, mate, it's boring, and it should not be boring. Wiping out fields of zombies. It should be fun. It just doesn't feel it. Shooting's a bit crap. Aiming's fucking terrible. Shooting doesn't feel good. Going up against human enemies, I'm talking 2 or 3 shots to the head to kill human enemies. I thought maybe I'd just set the difficulty too high, so I dropped the difficulty down to easy to see if that was the problem. Nope. On easy, I get the same problem. I just don't die quite as quickly. So I played it while I was off last weekend. So I was off for, not last weekend, sorry, the weekend before. So the weekend before the bank holiday, I had 2 days before the weekend, at the weekend, and then 2 days after the weekend off. And I played it like, let's say 5 1.5 to 2 hour stints, just while I was doing other things. Every time I switched that game on, it had a new patch.
Wow.
When I got the game on release day, and when I installed it, it was on version 1.1. That was on Friday. On Tuesday, when I wrapped it up and posted it back, it was on version 1.07. I had watched that thing patch every day, and it still wasn't good. No, not good. It still wasn't fixed. And it's back to this conversation we were having earlier about Ubisoft games and Anthem not being what they need to be when they're released. I don't have time to wait for you to fix your game.
No.
There are other games I want to play. I want to play Rage. I picked up Hitman Absolution on a Xbox deal. You know, finally waiting for that enhancing to go cheap. It went cheap. Fuck you, Days Gone. I'm playing Hitman. Sorry. It's been bagged up and sent back to the rental company. I wanted to love it. I really wanted to love it. On paper, it's Sons of Anarchy plays out in The Last of Us. This should absolutely be my bag. But it isn't.
Sons of the Walking Dead.
Yeah. But this is what I mean. So you played The Last of Us, didn't you?
Yep, loved it.
So when
Game of the generation.
When you sneak around in The Last of Us, there is an actual sense of dread, you know, and it's not caused by the music. It's not caused by anything other than the fact that you know you're being sent an hour back in your day if that thing hears you. You know, there's no getting away from it. If it hears you, it's going to fuck you up, and it genuinely shits you up while you're playing it. I didn't get anything like that playing Days Gone. And that is a real shame. It doesn't look as good technically as a lot of the other games Sony have put out. It is definitely the weakest Sony first party title of the last couple of years. And I know that's not saying much considering how good all of those games have been. This one, in my opinion, is a significant step down. That as much as I got to the end of Spider-Man and started finding it a bit repetitive, I still finished Spider-Man and I was enjoying playing it right up until the time I finished it. Days Gone, mate, I'm so gutted. I really wanted it to be good and I couldn't get invested. It so desperately wants to be Red Dead Redemption as well. So desperately wants to be Red Dead Redemption. You can't just travel round. You get a motorbike. You have to keep your petrol tank full. You have to find petrol to fill it up, and you have to watch the animation of him filling up his petrol tank every time. It's so fucking boring. You can fast travel, but you can only fast travel if you've got enough petrol to do it. If you haven't, you need to go find some petrol. It's a game filled with half-assed survival mechanics. It's just no. Mate, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, it's a real shame because the Days Gone looked and promised to be so much.
I tell you what it was, right? The thing for me is, and this is the big tell for a game for me. I've turned the game off. I've gone and had my dinner, or I've gone and walked the dog, or whatever. Put the kid to bed. Wife goes, I've got some work to do, or I've got some stuff to do. I'm going to read my book. Whatever. You can stick the Xbox on, and I look and go,
Nah,
I don't wanna. Literally, you'll look at it and go, I don't think I want to turn Days Gone on. Thank you very much. I'm all good. I'll go back to my very slow replay of Dishonored, which I did. Yeah, it's a shame.
I actually kind of gutted that you didn't like it. If I'm honest, it was. I knew it was a game you were interested in. It's a game that I was partially interested in. I knew I probably wouldn't have bought it because I'm not that. I'm not that interested in more fucking survival horror zombie games. So
Yeah,
I think the market's a bit saturated with fucking zombie games now.
it's definitely pushing the horror description a bit. There's no scares in this game. Certainly not in the hours I played. It was not scary. It wasn't really horror-y. It was just monsters. And again, this is where I think it fails when you there is a very obvious comparison for Days Gone to The Last of Us. It feels like The Last of Us. It looks like The Last of Us. It's kind of that grey, bleak, post-apocalyptic thing, but it's missing what makes The Last of Us special. And you can't blame Days Gone for that, because I'm dubious that The Last of Us 2 is going to be able to recreate what The Last of Us did.
Yeah.
Because it is such a unique and special game. I know not everybody likes it. I think The Last of Us is one of the best games that I've ever played. Not just on the PS3 or on the PS4, just in general. I think The Last of Us is one of the best games I've ever played. And I don't know if Naughty Dog can do that again with number 2. I'm willing to let them try, but I'm not sure they can do it. And Sony Bend certainly didn't do it with Days Gone. But try it, mate. Rent it. You might like it. I'm not the gospel when it comes to this. You and me like a lot of the same stuff, but we also like a lot of stuff that is very different.
Yeah, we do.
So you might enjoy it. I'm not sure you would, is the honest answer.
I will pick it up eventually on the ye old rental. And I'm going to say this now, would you say that Days Gone plays and behaves kind of like what Sony's contingency plan would have been if Naughty Dog had turned around and said, we're not going to make Last of Us 2? And that this is a second studio that they've gone, okay, we're going to give you The Last of Us 2 to make, essentially, the sequel to The Last of Us 1, and then Naughty Dog to turn around and say, well, actually, we will make Last of Us 2, and the studio just went, well, I guess we're just going to have to make... we're going to use this as an element to make ourselves a new game.
I'll be honest, it feels like it could be if it felt more polished. And what I mean by that is it doesn't feel like it's been in the pipeline long enough for that to have ever been the case. It doesn't feel like any time has been taken to make this game. And I'm not saying that in a devs don't know what they're doing kind of way, because I will never be able to make a video game ever in my life.
No.
But it does not feel like a top tier game. It doesn't feel... I tell you what it feels more like. It feels more like a game that Sony acquired from somewhere and then handed it to Sony Bend and went, can you finish this? Because it just doesn't feel like a Sony first party game.
All right.
But there are lots of people that are enjoying it, so I might be wrong.
It's happened before.
It happens quite regularly. I'm a fucking retard.
You have been wrong before, and I usually can trust what it is that you say about a video game. One way or the other, you're usually quite right, for my own opinion, of what I like about games. We do have differences of opinion. As you said, you like horror games and I don't. I like most sports titles and you don't.
No. But I think where our interests cross over, I think this sits firmly in that section. I think you'll have the same experience as me. I think you'll get a few hours in and then just go, no, I'm going to go play Battlefield.
Yeah. Speaking of Battlefield.
Is that for a segue?
Yeah, what we've been playing, because as I said at the start of the episode, I've been kind of busy for the last God knows how many fucking weeks and haven't really had a chance to play any game new with any kind of gusto. luckily we've not really had many new games come out,
No.
apart from Days Gone, obviously. So I've been playing a couple of old favorites, the typicals like the FIFAs, the Hitman stuff, Football Manager, just because I was away and needed to took my laptop with me. And I also played Battlefield 5 for not actually playing the multiplayer and not playing the Battle Royale mode.
Okay.
So they released a little quietly before Firestorm. Yes, I think it's Firestorm, yeah.
Yeah.
A mode called Combined Arms. And Combined Arms is a 1 to 4 man squad versus the environment. Now, it's not typical horde like as it kind of sounds,
Yeah.
but more objective based mission. So you pick one of, I think, 10. Yeah, so there's two missions on 5 maps, I
Yeah.
think, off the top of my head. There's 10 missions to pick from on easy, normal, and hard difficulties. And you go into the map. It's the multiplayer map, so you grab a section of them,
Yeah.
and you do the mission, which can be blow up the 3 turrets, or it could be steal 3 documents, or it could be kill 3 targets. And then you go and find your extraction zone and defend yourself for 3 minutes. So it sounds pretty simple, and it sounds like you could probably do it on your own. The answer is you probably can't do it on your own.
No.
So I've got all of the achievements on Battlefield 5, including all of the single player achievements for completing the story on the hardest difficulty. Combined Arms on normal difficulty is harder than the single player's hardest difficulty
Nice.
by a massive amount. For one reason and one reason only. If any of your allies are detected, the AI knows exactly where your entire team is.
Okay.
So you could start on a mission on a big old bridge. You can jump off the bridge into the water and swim to the shore, if you so choose, or you can walk off the bridge and just go around the side.
Yeah.
But if any of you are spotted by the enemy, all of the enemies essentially on the entire map know exactly where all of you are. You've got no way of hiding. You can't just run into a building and hide in there and wait it out for them to give up. They know exactly where you are and they will come to you. And they will come to you faster than you can mow them down. It is fucking hard. And considering it's got this discovery mechanic, like most games with AI does, and again, the single player has this stealth element to it where you can essentially stealth your way through a large portion of the fucking game without
Yeah.
being seen, and the enemy knowing where you are. You can't stealthily kill people because there is only one silenced gun in the multiplayer. It
Nice.
was released all of 2 weeks ago.
Excellent.
It also doesn't kill enemies in one shot, even on a headshot. And if you shoot someone in the back of the head, it's bolt action, so you then need to load the next round.
Yeah.
For one. And the other side of it is that after you shoot someone, all of the enemies know exactly where you are because you've just alerted the enemies.
Nice.
So it's pointless to try and stealth it. You can technically stealth it by running up and stabbing them, but good luck finding an enemy on his own who isn't going to see you or one of your allies who doesn't have another enemy nearby to see you when you do it.
Lovely.
There's the worst possible stealth mechanic I've ever played in a game. Worse than your Days Gone mechanic.
I say I'm willing to take a bet on that.
So at least the Days Gone stealth mechanic works to an extent of that you can actually stealth around. This one you can't. So it's a non-existent stealth mechanic
Yeah,
that
fair
is
enough.
pretending to be there. It's next to impossible to do it on your own because, like I said, the enemies are just fucking impossible to get away from,
Yeah.
and they will regularly just like they have different classes of enemies. So you've got your usual just casual mobs of enemies where they've got just generic guy, 2 bullets, they're dead.
Yeah.
And then they've got 3-star enemies, so like generals and stuff. But these are like human characters, so they've got abilities. So the assault kit will fire explosives at you. The support kit will mow you down with big ol' MMGs. Uh, the recon kit will fire flares into the air that will land near you for airstrikes or mortars to come after you.
Okay.
So I was doing the last section of an extraction. I was sitting inside a building after one of my friends had died. So I was sitting in the building on my own, and then I just see this red smoke appearing, clipping through the wall beside me, and
Yeah.
I just looked at the red smoke, and I just went, well, fuck.
Hmm.
I just didn't even bother moving because I knew I didn't stand a chance. As soon as I opened that door, I was going to get fucking shot. As soon as so I just stayed there and hoped for the best. And it's just like first mortar lands directly on top of me, and I died.
Lovely.
Yeah, playing with 2 people was fucking hard on
Yeah.
normal difficulty, but doable. Me and Ben completed a good couple of missions. Not all of them, not even close to all of them. There were some of them that were just unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
Adding a third person, however, easy as fucking anything.
Really?
Seriously, as soon as we had a third person, that was it. It just we couldn't fail. We were running into the areas. There was 3 of us mowing down all of the enemies. I think it's because of the battlefield mechanic of you get one person to throw health, one person to throw ammo, one person with explosives, and one person for long range.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do it on your own. Well, next to impossible to do it on your own because you don't have enough ammo. But at the same time, you also need to be able to get yourself health.
Yeah.
That you can't kill enemies fast enough to pick up enough ammo off of them. You can pick up ammo from your enemies, but it's usually only like 3 to 10 bullets, which isn't usually enough to sustainably move around and kill all of the enemies in the area. So you kind of need to move and use the support kit,
Yeah.
LMGs, MMG, shotguns. But now you've only got one health kit to heal yourself because Battlefield has a health kit mechanic now instead of taking time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a proper health kit mechanic. So instead of you get one health pack to heal yourself back up to whatever it is that the maximum health you can have based on the amount of health you've lost.
Yeah.
You need to go to find an actual medic to give you enough health or a medic station to heal yourself fully. The good old fashioned healing mechanic.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So you've got to pick between one of those 2 if you're on your own. If you're playing as a 2, you think, oh, that's easy. One medic, one support. You can keep each other healthy and in ammo until you come across tanks, because there are tanks in this.
Nice.
The medic kit has only one gun, which was released this week, which can do any form of damage to vehicles because it's got a bolt-action rifle with grenade launcher attachment.
Yeah.
So it's a bolt-action rifle with a bolt-action grenade launcher mechanic.
Well.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And the support kit can't actually supply extra. So it will give you bullets. It won't give you grenades, and it won't give you the extra explosives that you have. So like AP mines or
Yeah.
grenade launchers, stuff like that. Yeah. And the support kit has only really got one weapon for damaging vehicles, and it's not great. Meaning you need to have your third person as the assault kit.
Yeah.
You are pretty much limited to having to use 3 people. The second you have 3 people, it becomes really fucking easy. Yeah.
Excellent.
So Battlefield was not. Combined Arms is actually pretty good. You don't get anywhere near enough XP for what it is,
Yeah.
and it's a fun thing to do with your friends, especially if you're having issues playing Battlefield because you just decide there's only like a couple of servers playing the game mode that you want in the region that you're in, and you join one of the servers, you realize that it's full of dickheads who just sit in camp or don't really, or you end up on the team of people who are four
Yeah.
just in age and just ability. So it's it's nice to have something to play with friends,
Yeah.
and I did enjoy playing it while we were playing it. So I will probably go back to keeping to playing it. But the only reason I started playing it was because of this new gun. It was part of the unlock method was to play combined arms.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it was fun. Enjoyed it. I've got a new gun because of it. Can't complain too much. Do you have anything
I
else to
miss the
play?
days of chasing guns on Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, it's the only way to unlock stuff now is they're drip feeding weapons
Yeah.
and vehicle paint.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Literally just paint styles for vehicles being drip fed. They're, this new live service drip feeding content really rubs me a bit the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. This is why I'm kind of trying to stick to single player stuff at the moment.
Yeah, when they start drip feeding single player content, that's when we need to stop playing games.
Yeah. Find a new hobby. Might go back to reading. I miss reading. Yeah.
You got a second game you want to talk about, or
No, I don't think I do. I've kind of played a little bit of a few games, but nothing really worth talking about, and I'd rather wait till I've finished whatever I'm to talk about.
understandable?
But yeah, no, I think that's probably me done, to be honest with you, mate.
Okay, so I don't know. It's been a while. How do we normally do this? Next bit is it's recommendations, isn't it?
Yep.
What would you like to recommend?
Overcooked is going to be on PlayStation Plus games this month. Go play Overcooked, it's awesome.
I will.
Yeah, I like Overcooked.
I'm going to recommend that before the next episode, but not quite yet. Going on to Game Pass, onto Xbox Live Games with Gold, is the Golf Club 2019. I think it's 2019, might be 2018, but it's the PGA Tour licensed golf game. Seeing as EA Sports lost their license after Rory McIlroy was a bit pants.
Yeah. Fair enough. I haven't played a golf game for a long time. I can't see me ever playing another golf game.
No, it's like I said earlier, it's like you play the survival horror stuff, I play the sports title, so
Yeah.
it's more a game for me to play, and I'm interested to see, considering the golf club managed to release 2 games in the time it took for EA Sports to release one,
Yeah.
and then they've since released a third one with the PGA license, meaning that they must have done a good job with the other 2,
Yeah.
because PGA Tour are usually quite restrictive on their license
Yeah.
and their products. They do like there's a lot of money in golf.
Yeah.
There is a lot of money in golf betting. So, and you don't want to just allow anybody to have your stuff. It's the PGA license is worse than the fucking MLB one.
Jesus.
Yeah. And we all know how MLB are with their fucking license.
Yeah. Well, all American sports, the NFL's the same, though, aren't they?
True. I mean, yeah. Was EA have the only NFL license, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Well, the NFL license is exceptionally restrictive on literally everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like the controllers that were being put out on like custom controller stuff. It was like
Yeah.
very, very quickly washed up and rebranded when team colors were being put out. They're
Oh
no longer being
yes.
listed as team colors anymore. They are just a collection of colors. I
Yeah.
think Microsoft tried to get the Design Lab stuff to have team colors.
Yep, they did for a
Around,
little while, and they were
yeah, it
taken
was
down too.
yeah, it was around Super Bowl time, so it was probably just because it was Super Bowl time. They just went, yeah, well, you can support your team color,
Yeah,
team and your controller, and then NFL said, yeah, okay, yeah, that's enough now.
yeah.
But yeah, PGA Tour, the Golf Club 2019, out on the 16th, I think, is the crossover date. So
Nice.
it's like next Wednesday
Yeah.
ish. Yeah,
Maybe I do install it.
maybe it's
Maybe
free.
you and me play some golf.
Maybe to be fair, you'd be surprised how much fun you can have playing a golf game with friends. Because it is hilarious just to see someone, because it's just the controls are so basic and to fuck up so easily sometimes on
Yeah.
those games. It can prove quite funny. It's like
Is there a
playing
mini golf
SingStar.
mini game?
Maybe? I don't know. It's like playing SingStar when you're drunk with your friends.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the Corn song.
Freak like me. Freak on a leash.
Freak on a leash, yeah. Yeah. Trying to do that when drunk.
See, doing that's
But
fine. It's when you have to do the rap bit at the end, and you
yeah,
just sound like Scatman.
everyone sounds like Scatman.
Sounds like a good place to wrap it up. That does, mate.
Yeah, on Scatman. So
Yeah, man.
that's what we've been playing. So that leaves us with Brooker. Where can people find you?
In my house.
Unfortunately, most of us don't have keys to your house.
No, that's fortunately
Mm,
for me.
you don't want people just to walk in.
No, I do
Oh,
not.
that's a shame.
You can find me as is always. You can find me over on Twitter. It's the best place to find me, and anything I do is shared on Twitter. So I'm at Brooker411 over in that direction.
Yay! So I'm the John _ CU on Twitter. On Xbox Live, I'm Long Dong Silver. And if you're not interested in us as individuals and you only like listen to our podcast, then you've reached the end of this podcast. Well done. Also, Character Unlock is our handle on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, even though we don't use it very often.
No. Oh well.
Yeah. So that's I think that's it. We're done. So
Yay.
say goodbye, Brooks.
Goodbye, buddy.
See ya.